So today we're going to talk about books that I think that every beginner and intermediate tarot reader should have in their bookshelf. I'm a professional tarot reader myself. I have been very privileged to be able to make tarot my full-time job, and I even wrote a book. I even wrote a tarot book. But we're not talking about my tarot book today. We're talking about other tarot books that I personally recommend and think that you should have on your shelf. So let's talk about it. So as I said, I am a professional tarot reader. This is something that I've been doing for about a decade. I work reading tarot as my full-time job. It isn't a side project. It isn't a hobby job. It is my full-time career. And something I'm incredibly proud of. And the books we're going to be discussing today are books that I think are going to help you, whether you are a beginner or intermediate, grow in your practice. So starting off, I am going to say that I'm a huge fan of this woman right here, Teresa Reed. Her book, Tarot No Questions Asked, I think is incredible and everyone should have on their shelf. Teresa sets you up in a really, really good way that a lot of tarot books, I feel, are lacking. Most tarot books will put you in a position where they're like, here's the upright, here's the reversal, here's some symbolism. And I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and pretend that my book itself doesn't do that in its own way as well. There's nothing wrong with those books. I think they serve an incredible purpose. But Teresa's approach to this book is, quite frankly, to assist you and teach you to actually grow beyond just this is what it means upright, this is what it means in reverse. She gives you a way to look at each card and makes you think, while simultaneously giving you tarot sizes, as she calls them, for each card that is going to help you kind of expand your own interpretation of the card in question. There's also an entire section in the back about growing as a reader, developing your skills to a decent level and at a relatively quick pace. I love this book. I think it's incredible. I've recommended it myself probably about 2 bajillion times on Instagram and via email and on Patreon, etc. I love this book and I'm a huge fan of Teresa's, and I think you should be too. Next on our list is going to be the 78 Degrees of Wisdom. I almost just said 70 Degrees of Wisdom. I guess I forgot about the other 8 cards. The 70 Degrees of Wisdom is incredible and so in-depth. This is for somebody who maybe is a little bit beyond the beginner stage. This is a great deep dive into each of the cards. I referenced this book in a major way when I was writing my own book that talks about essentially the symbolism of each card. It talks about the stories behind it, and then it also goes into things like the upright and the reversal. I love this book. It is a best-selling book for a reason. Everyone should have this on their bookshelves. I reference it all of the time, and I've been doing this for a while. Usually I reference it for spell work, which is again what my book is written about, but it doesn't change anything. It also talks about things like pairings in cards and repeat symbolism, and I think this is a really, really good book to essentially go that next chapter, then the extra mile, if you will, when you are developing your tarot practice and going through that journey. I love this book. I think you should have it on your shelf, and if you don't, get it. Now, this book is a doozy. This is a big book. Our next book. This is Holistic Tarot. This book, actually, if you follow me on other social media, you probably already know Maria the Arcane. She recommended me this book. She might have even bought me this book. I don't remember now. She recommended me this book, or maybe bought it for me, about 3 years ago, and I never heard of it. I was like, what the heck is that? It's incredible. This book is incredible. I don't even know where to begin. This book has got spreads. This book has meanings. This book has interpretations and connections. I mean, look at it. Look how thick this book is. It is so filled. And this isn't one of those books that's like super thick and then like all the font is really big. It isn't. It's beefy. It essentially puts you in a position where if you were somebody who I believe, again, is somebody who's maybe a beginner to intermediate, is wanting to essentially explore and push themselves further in tarot, this is the book to have. I am forever grateful to have this book. It essentially really, really changed my perspective on a lot of things. I should have bookmarked it, but there is a like chart in here. Yeah, there's a chart in here that gives you basic things, for example, like keywords in tarot, that right off the bat, you can look at it and go, oh, right. The Magician is about individuality. Okay, the Temperance is about balance. That, especially when you're a beginner and you're trying to kind of navigate this big world of 78 cards. What do I do? Where is this going? Holistic Tarot essentially gives you the skills and the approach to look at all of these cards and go, okay, I get it now. And okay, I can utilize it this way and that way. It's not a perfect book, of course. It's not. But for the size to value, I really think everyone should have this. It is a little bit more on the expensive side, so I would recommend looking at it secondhand if you can. But Holistic Tarot is a dream. It is a great reference book, and it is something that's really going to take your practice to that next level. Okay, and the last book that I'm going to recommend is Archetypal Tarot. This book kind of gives you the connection between your own life and tarot, and in my opinion is a really good book to use and to have if you are working on building your own correspondence based off of your life and like the lives of others in it using the tarot. Building correspondence with tarot is something that is a little bit more intermediate to advanced, but that doesn't mean that you can't utilize this book early on for making fresh connections. I think this is a great book to have. I think it was a really, really interesting take on essentially this, I want to call it like a constellation of life and how these stars are all connected together, us being the stars. A little metaphor for you. I really like this book. I think it's incredible. And it really gives you something to think about. And like I said, more intermediate to advanced, but I enjoyed it. And I really think it's something that you can utilize to help build your own correspondence in tarot. Now, I know that not all these books are going to be for everyone. This really doesn't even scratch the surface of my own personal tarot library. We're not even going to start on the decks. But what I can say is that I really strongly believe that if you are in a position where you are wanting to learn tarot and to do it in a way that you're going to be confident and go into it, not just like the average reader who, you know, understands uprights and understands reversals and doesn't really know how to apply that in any other context, I feel like these books are going to put you in a position where you can go into that with a lot of confidence and a lot of ability that maybe some of your peers don't have. So that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed these books and I hope that they help you to grow. So happy reading.